Welcome to this demonstration on Spark Request, how to obtain a study ID. In this demonstration, we will go through the steps to obtaining a study ID needed for all InfoReady research funding requests. This video is intended for principal investigators, or PIs, within the MUSC research community who are interested in applying for sector funding opportunities and have never obtained a study ID for their current study. As the PI, you will need to complete the process of obtaining a study ID in Spark Request before submitting applications to InfoReady. By the end of this video, you will be able to navigate the Spark system to request a study ID, retrieve the ID from an email originating from Spark Request, and insert the ID into InfoReady to complete your funding application. For all funding opportunities, Sector uses the online application portal called InfoReady. See the web address on screen. Every funding application requires PIs to submit a new study ID. This study ID allows Sector to link the funding application to services for tracking and reporting purposes. Please note that all application materials should be uploaded in InfoReady and not the Spark system. If you already have a new Spark ID for your study, you can proceed to the InfoReady application. To obtain a study ID, you need to visit the Spark Request webpage at spark.musc.edu. Once on the main homepage, you need to scroll down and select South Carolina Clinical and Translational Research Institute and then Funding Opportunities from the expanded menu. In the expanded menu, you will be able to view all current funding opportunities through Sector. Click on the opportunity you are interested in and click the green plus sign in the bottom right to add it. Next, you will be asked, is this a new request? Select the Yes button. Be sure to click Save and Continue on the bottom right of the screen. To proceed, you will need to click on the MUSC User Login button followed by MUSC User on the next page. Provide your current MUSC Net ID and password and click Sign In. After logging in, you will be back inside the Spark system. You will notice your request in the upper right of the screen. To move forward in the process, click on the Save and Continue button in the lower right side of the screen. In the next window, click the green Start a New Study button to begin filling out the request form. You will need to complete all of the required fields on the Study ID request form. Required fields are marked with a red asterisk. If you have a question about a required field, simply hover your cursor over it for more information. Please note, as the PI, if you select human subjects, then the Research Master ID or RMID field will become required. After filling out all required fields, scroll to the bottom and click the Save button on the lower right side of the screen. This will take you to Step 2 of the Study ID request process. Step 2 of the study ID process is designated for protocol information related to the study. Under the Study Summary tab, you will be able to see your pending study ID. In the Milestones tab, remember to complete the required start and end date fields before proceeding. Steps 3 and 4 are not required. You can click on the red arrow to move directly to Step 5. Step 5 requires you to review all submitted information related to your study for accuracy. Once reviewed, click Submit Request in the lower right side of the screen. After submitting the request, you will receive an email confirming that the request was submitted successfully and the study ID will be listed in the email. You will then take the issued ID and place it in the required Spark ID field on the InfoReady funding application. Please note, the funding application might look different depending on which opportunity you are applying for. Thank you for your interest in applying for research funding. If you have any questions related to the Request for Application, or RFA, please contact the program administrator that is assigned to your funding opportunity, or review the Sector Funding Opportunities webpage at the URL on screen.